workshop this Saturday, so please contact me or sign up if you're interested in going. This is for anyone who wants to learn more about AI and how it could be used in education or in other things as you'll see. So the first big question we must answer is AI just a new tool, like a calculator? What is AI most like? And we're going to talk about 4 things a lot of people think AI is like. Some people just see it as like the latest iPhone. It's just a fad, and it's useful, it's cool, but it's not really too transformative. Other people view it like a calculator. Remember, calculators, being a calculator used to be a job that people performed. And then as the calculator emerged, it replaced people's jobs, and it became a useful tool, though it didn't replace replace the need for people to understand math. It just made calculations more automated. Other people have claimed that it's going to start a new revolution. That's just like the steam engine started the Industrial Revolution. AI is going to start the next technology revolution. And some people are saying that it's like HAL 9000, that it's going to exterminate human life as it becomes more and more intelligent. So what do you think? Well, hopefully by the end of the workshop, you have a better opinion and a more informed opinion and can answer that question for yourself. Okay, so first of all, what is AI? And specifically, the one that's being used in education is ChatGPT and other large language model-based learning systems. So what are they? Well, ChatGPT and other GPTs are language learning models based off of this following system. But first, what is AI? Well, everyone knows AI stands for artificial intelligence. And that's something that's been going on for a long time. But actually, ChatGPT was really on the front line of doing a new type of AI, using this type of machine learning that had existed for a long time and was used for lots of different tasks, as various as running chess programs, all the way to medical programs. But so that's the big broad thing, and it's used for images, it's used for a lot of different things. But what ChatGPT did was it was much more human-like because it was a language-based model. And what they did, and what other people have started to do with Gemini and other such large language learning models, is it turned language into computer programming, and so was able to talk more effectively with humans. What do I mean by that? Well, first, it takes a sentence like the capital of France is, and it identifies all the words. It actually assigns at least one token for every word. So the is a token, capital is a token of, France is all tokens. So what it's doing is it's converting this into mathematical vectors. Then it tries to, using very complicated pattern recognition, which is going to be a little bit different depending on which program you used, it tries to predict what is the next word. Then it will have a mathematical formula, and it will score all the different possible words. Now, depending on the exact formula, which is all secret material, the exact formula, because ChatGPT doesn't want Google copying it, doesn't want other people copying it, and Google is going to do a little bit differently. But it's going to have a whole bunch of tokens, which are words or combinations of words. You can combine tokens that are going to show us the possible outcomes. And then it'll select either the highest scoring word mathematically, or if you're telling it to be a little bit more creative, it might select a lower probability score. But it's actually all mathematical. It's not thinking of it at all. It's just producing and predicting the next word. Producing or predicting the next, actually, token, because some long words are multiple tokens. Kind of interesting. So what is going to happen? What are the topics we're going to talk about? Well, first, we're going to talk about the ugly. We're going to talk about how AI is leading to brain drain in the classroom and how this can be prevented. We're going to talk about the bad. We're going to talk about how AI could lead to job losses in some industries, or it could replace some things like tutors. And we're going to talk about the good. The AI and access to AI can increase access to education, make education more available to everyone. For example, tutoring. And then we'll get to questions on answers on Saturday. So what is this? Well, first let's talk about the ugly. There's a lot of research coming out on how AI can lead to brain drain, brain fry, AI slop. I've talked to a lot of my friends who work in different industries. We won't get into the details because some of the stuff they do is confidential, but what we're seeing is that these LLMs, language learning models, can be used in a wide variety of applications, whether you work for profit corporations or nonprofit, whether you work for education or industry. No matter where you work, everyone's trying to figure out how can we use these to their advantage. And unfortunately, when we just say, just learn it, just do it just to do it, it just becomes another thing on the to-do list and can lead to brain fry or that. And so one of the best studies I found for this, and I'll link at the bottom, is the Harvard Business Review. Found a lot of data about this, and they saw there's a strong connection between AI use and brain fry at work. Why is that? Well, the reason why is most people, when they use AI, are not trained in it. And so because this is such a new technology, and if they're not trained in it, they're just told by their bosses, you need to figure out how to do AI, not trained in it, then that's just going to add extra stress, and that has led to more brain fry at work. Now, there is one exception. There's an interesting example they found, is that when AI is used very specifically to get rid of repetitive tasks, then it can actually decrease work stress and increase work-life balance. One example of this that I found in my research is in the discovery process for new lawyers, entry-level lawyers in the workforce. It used to be that doc review took hours and hours and hours and was done completely by humans. Now, using AI can sift through 100 years of precedents and find the most relevant cases where all the other cases rely upon and hand those to person and help out in that part of doc review. So there is applications where there's very repetitive tasks that AI is currently good at. But it needs to be trained in that specific industry. So you can't just go to ChatGPT and expect it to be an expert in the law. You have to use an AI that's been trained on that its models are based off of legal text. Similarly, if you work in education, you can't just use any AI, like many students are doing. You need to do something that's trained in the specific industry you're working in. This goes back to even 2008, when Nicholas Carr asked the important question, is Google making us stupid? Well, now we know the answer is, in some ways, yes. Reliance on Google means people remember less information. Just like nowadays, most people do not remember many phone numbers. The same thing's happening with AI, is people who are relying on it for writing or certain tasks are not exercising those things. So that's the ugly. It can lead to AI slop. It can lead to brain fry. It can lead to dependence. What does this look like in the classroom? Well, teachers all across the country are noticing students who rely on this to help them with their assignments are not practicing their writing skills as much as they want. This is the bad situation. Whether allowed or not allowed, this is so widely accessible that it's leading to poor student writing, particularly in the classroom. So when students are actually forced to write for themselves, they've been relying on these language models. This can be a big problem. So what's the good? Is there a good side of AI? Yes. Currently, and the level it's at, when you use AI like a tool, when you use it for the way it's meant to be, like a calculator, remember our opening question, this is one way that it's currently like a calculator. When you can use it in the way it's designed, it is a great tool. Let me tell you one of the ways that this is happening is many companies, like the company sponsoring this video, ScholarDog, and other companies like Flint AI, and I expect Google to be doing more and more in this because they have Google Classroom. AI can be used as an AI tutor to to help with grading, to help with these repetitive tasks, to help with tutoring students at midnight the day before the test when their teacher is no longer available for them. This is the good, and I'll be demonstrating how this is used and how this is currently being done in the education industry this Saturday. So I hope you'll come join me this Saturday to learn out more, and feel free to email me anytime if you want to join the discussion and talk more about how AI can be used responsibly and how AI can be used for good